and thank you to the previous speakers. And I'm sort of rapidly rewriting my speech here. I can't tell you how terrifying this is to be sitting here with a room full of experts, really a big room full of experts, and I'm really not an expert in technology at all. Although I've always been interested in it. I used to watch Star Trek in the 60s. I was a teenager, unbelievably, in the 60s. And then they had amazing things. And I remember one scene where Spock put in, they wanted to look at the history of the Earth, and he put in this disc into a machine, and it came up on screen, and all the history was there. And we just thought, that's amazing. Actually, CDs are now old technology, and so, you know, we've even gone past Star Trek. So that's how scared I am about what it is. So I'm not an expert, but I am a customer. I'm a user, an end user of a lot of the stuff that is coming out of the Parliament here. So that makes me a critical friend, if you like. But looking at the role of an MEP is really difficult. I was trying to think, well, what would a typical MEP? Of course, there isn't a typical MEP. We're not chosen by any particular central method, or we don't have a job description. We arrive in the Parliament from 28 different countries, and we have a variety of skills and backgrounds, and a variety of ages too. And we have a variety of staff who we choose for whatever reason we want them to assist us in. We don't necessarily choose them for their IT skills or how they can operate in the new environment that's coming down there. And as I say, we're all different ages and experience. Very often we're involved in setting the rules, those industry standards, and so we're having to get our heads around a lot of this. So just, I want to sort of look from the Parliament side, and I just want to say a little bit about what we need, what we've got, thanks to the DIGITEC department here, and what would help us in our work. So huge thanks to the achievements that we've done already. So far, we have got e-committee, a common working space for members and assistants and secretariats, with e-meetings. Now, which is great. We're driving down towards paperless. Anybody who's seen the amount of paper that the Parliament uses can only think that that's a wonderful thing. At 4 a.m. It took me a long time to work out what happened at 4 a.m. in the morning, but it's all about amendments and for amendments. But the digital signature is another huge benefit, so that we're not chasing around doing paper signatures and the rest of it. Although I have to say, I cannot get my head around this. If I hadn't got an assistant helping me through this, I wouldn't have signed anything in the last couple of years. And mobile intranet access and all the rest of it, and tablets and computers. I don't go anywhere without my iPad, and what a bonus that is. And it doubles up as a little lap tray as well. But I am working on that the whole time, and that you're absolutely right. I work all the time. I wake up in the morning, we tweet, and I'm sitting on the train. We don't go to work now. We are working on our way to somewhere else, and that is a real a mixed blessing. But we've consolidated so much more now of innovating working methods. We've got collaborative workspaces, sharing of documents, much easier than it ever used to be. Thank heavens we're moving away from zip files, which iPads can't cope with, and mobile services and devices, and the downside of that is we've all been given iPads, and we work very well on iPads. And if you look on the meetings, which are web streamed, all the MEPs are sitting there like this. We all look as if we've gone to sleep. It used to be just the women that could multitask. Now I see that men are multitasking too. They're tweeting, and but they look as if we're all asleep. So we have a huge bonus of having all these things at our fingertips, and I say our fingertips, that is the most secure bit of my iPad. It's my fingertip that turns it on. But security is a huge issue. Nobody has told us and our staff that if you go into McDonald's and use the Wi-Fi there, it's probably not secure, and if you're in the airport, it's probably not secure. And how are you making that secure for, as we know, the hackers that are out there and would love to get inside the Parliament? Mobile offices, e-portals, all of the great things, but I would please ask, don't reinvent the wheel. You are making new wheels, and it's an enormously exciting business to be in, DIGITEC. I can't believe how exciting it must be for young people coming in. Just have an idea and you can do it. But please don't reinvent the wheel. Don't give us a new version of apps, because somebody else has already made it and they're jolly easy and they go onto the iPads. Don't try and get something else that will fit on a computer, because a computer is now old technology. How time-consuming it is. I'm on the iPad the whole time, flip it open, it works, and I get into the office and I turn on the computer and I'm sitting there, oh, come on, computer, wake up, you know, it's doing all the rest of it. Somebody ought to have that little program running behind the scenes so that when I just turn it on, it works. Those of you who've done the training will know that however wonderful we get DIGITEC, it will never, ever be as fast as the things inside our heads. And so you can make things as fast as they are, they'll never be fast enough. And that's a frustration I think we're all going to have to live with. But to sum it up, everything looks good. There have been lots and lots of improvements and innovations right across the Parliament and for us as MEPs. But still, I met an MEP the other day who we were having coffee and a text message came in and he said, oh, I've got to reply to this. And he gave it to his assistant and dictated the text message. He couldn't text on his phone. I kid you not. So, you know, this is the challenge for all of you who are working with MEPs. Some of us don't work. I have, and my colleagues will know, every time we have a meeting, I'm saying, they're saying, oh, we now can print anywhere in the Parliament. Great, you know. I have no idea where the printers are in these cupboards in the printers. I want something that I can press print from this and it prints Wi-Fi-less. I can do it at home, I can do it in my apartment, but I can't do it when I get into the Parliament. So there's a lot there. We had a great innovation, I think last summer, where they were doing fax machines in everybody's office. And I said to my intern about a fax machine, and he said, what's a fax machine? You know, this is scary stuff. So it is a huge challenge for big institutions to keep up with what's going on outside there, to be able to deliver that to people who have outside lives and come in into the workplace. In another meeting I was at recently, we were looking at replacing the furniture in the Parliament and how are we going to do that. And I said, well, are we going to have iPads in the furniture? Can we have it on the you know, not on the walls? And any of you who will look at vintage films will see there used to be offices with desks and a man sitting behind it. Then the man sat behind this enormous screen. Then the screens got smaller. The screens are going again, and then they're now part of the desk or on the wall. So let's make sure that we build in future-proofing for that. But we have to really look at the users of technology, and I make a plea as an MEP. Too often when we do the consultations, we'll go to the vice presidents, the important people in the Parliament. Actually, they have a lot of assistants and they're probably not doing as much IT. Go to the jobbing MEP who is struggling with travelling, flying long distances, going from meetings with different topics day in, day out, and sit with them. Send your staff to sit with them, to spend a week working with them and see how difficult it is to struggle to work out, I can't get the e-meeting. Why is it? It's disappeared from my iPad and you're in a meeting and there's no paper. That's a real terror for an MEP. So sit with them, find out what we really, really need, and then start building that in for that. Because it's our needs that we need to be servicing, not you've thought of a good idea, how can we make the MEP do that? And sometimes it feels as if we're being told this is a good thing for you, get on with it. So I don't mean that nastily. One other thing I would say, and they won't be surprised that I'm saying this, the IT industry, it's good to see so many women here today, but generally it attracts young men come into it. How are we going to get women into the iTech industry so that we can actually design the platforms, the use, the software, the hardware that is women friendly? We work in a different way, women, and it was quite interesting to hear the recognition that IT and remote working can be quite isolating. It's not a way that women work, and if we don't have the tools, the technology and the hardware behind it, we're going to lose an awful lot of innovation, and we're going to frustrate the working conditions for so many women. So I would say, whatever you're doing, try and make sure that the women are coming through and being part of that decision-making process, because it is so important. We do outnumber you fellows, I'm sorry to have to say. But anyway, thank you so much for inviting me here. I find it fascinating. I'm really sorry I can't stay for the rest of the day. I do enjoy technology, and I look forward to the future. I'm not quite sure how much longer. You guys have got much longer with it than I'm going to have, but it's an exciting world. Let's make sure we make it work for us, not that we have to work for technology. Thank you very much.